Well, so hello there. Welcome today. Today is Sunday. What is today? June 9th. And welcome to Learning with Lynn. And I'm Lynn.
And I'm Richard.
And this is Richard. So I want to welcome you guys all here today. I see there's a couple of people on. Comment so that we know you're here, okay? So today we're going to talk about 10 excuses standing in your way of a successful Avon business. And hopefully this is the third time is a charm, because this is the third time we've tried to do this training. And every time that I tried to do it, my mom ended up in the hospital and I was in the emergency room. So today she's still in the hospital. She's on the mend. She's been moved to rehab and hopefully will be coming home on Tuesday. So thank you guys for your patience. Talk about excuses, huh? Anyway, hi Ashley, good to see you. So we just got back from Los Cabos. Thankfully, we were able to go because my mom was stable. Like I said, she's in rehab and in good hands. And we just got back from Los Cabos, and it was the most amazing trip ever. And you guys, you need to be at these events. You need to be at these incentive trips. Ashley, nice to be catching alive again. Hey, we're excited to have you here, Ashley. I'm excited that you're able to. And I heard you had a rough time recently too. You've had some health problems. So I'm glad to see you that you're on the mend. And hi, Miss Idra Mint. Rosalind. Rosalind is on. Thank you. Hi, Rosalind. So next up, so Los Cabos was amazing. Avon treated us like kings and queens and princesses, as usual. Everything was wonderful. Deb, hi, good to see you. I'm excited to have you back too. Avon, every time they do a trip, they do it all out. And, you know, I am probably going to say this a million times today, but hello from Michigan. Hi, Monica, good to see you. So, you know, bottom line is you have to be on these incentive trips, not because you're going to Los Cabos, not because you're going to Jamaica, not because of where you're going, but it's who you're with. It's so funny. I tell that to my family all the time. My grandson's like, I don't want to go there. And it's like, it's who you're with, not where you're going. Well, you know, in the Avon trips, it's the same thing. It's not where you're going, although where we're going is amazing. But it's who you're with. You're with the top people of Avon. And I can't stress that enough. Not being there is hurting you more than anything because you're not with the top people of Avon. And you're not there and you're not making friends and you're not learning from each other. It's huge. So Ashley says, thanks, Lynn. I'm doing better and glad to be back working the business. Awesome. What happened to my... I hope that we're still on. I'm not seeing my picture. Anyway, can you guys see us? Somebody comment and say if you can see us. Hopefully we're there. I'm gonna just assume we're there. I'm not seeing us, so hopefully we're there. Anyway, I'm gonna do a couple of things. Let me move this over, and I'm gonna share the screen. Maybe that will fix it. Still not seeing me on the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, you can see my screen now, hopefully. What we're going to talk about today is 10 excuses standing in your way. So this is my blog at onlinebeautybiz.com.
I see you.
I see you. Good. Hi, Brenda. June. Hi, June. I'm glad you see me because I don't. So hopefully everything is good. So this is our blog, onlinebeautybiz.com. And I'm going to go down to the right here and I'm going to search for excuses. And there we go. There it is. 10 excuses standing in your way of a successful Avon business. So, you know, we all have excuses all the time. Thank you, guys. I'm glad that you can see us. So we all have excuses all of the time. You know, sometimes it's easy to make an excuse when we think we can't do something. But, you know, bottom line, with your business, you can either make excuses or you can make money, right? You can be successful or you can make an excuse why you're not successful. And it's your business. I can't tell you what to do. But on this blog post, I talk about 10 excuses that are standing in the way of a successful Avon business. We all make excuses from time to time, and this is not a judgment thing. This is more something that you need to find within yourself. Is why are you not being successful? Is it because you're allowing yourself to not be successful? And so, because the biggest reason that you're struggling to find success in your business is you. bottom line, the biggest reason you're not successful is you and me. The biggest reason I'm not successful is me. It's the biggest reason Richard's not successful is because he can't get over himself. But no, I mean, seriously, it's all within all of us. We have the ability to be successful. So that's the question is, are you allowing yourself to be in the way of your success? Our excuses are so powerful, and our excuses are the reason why we can't increase our sales. They're the reason we can't tell the truth to someone. They're the reason that we don't earn that next incentive trip. Ashley, whether you, let me see.
Yeah, that's a Henry Ford
Whether you
quote.
think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Spot on.
Yep, that's a Henry Ford quote. That's awesome.
Rosalind, I'm sorry if you're having technical difficulties. It seems we are too, but I think we're on and I think we're live, so hopefully everything is good. Yeah, absolutely, you guys. If you don't earn that the next trip coming up is Jamaica. If you don't earn that trip, the reason you didn't earn it is because of you. I know that sounds rough, but bottom line is, if you don't earn it, it's because of you. It's because you didn't make the decision that you're going to do what it takes. So what does it take? Okay, the way I understand it for Jamaica is that you have to have a 50% increase in your sales, and 25% of that has to be online for you to earn a trip for one. And 50% of that has to be online if you want to earn a trip for two. Now they've added some more ways. There's a second way. If you're already a President's Club member, you have to increase your sales by 20% over the original goal, and then you can sell a lot less online. I think it's $2,000 or $3,000 in order to earn the trip to Jamaica. And while we were in Los Cabos, they added a third way to earn it, and that's on recruiting. If you sign up 25 qualified new recruits from campaign 14 through campaign 26, you get to earn a trip to Jamaica. So there's 3 different ways you can earn it. So what you need to do is you have to be there, you guys. You have to be in Jamaica. And what you need to do is you need to decide which way are you going to earn it. And it's a little different for everybody. If you're new and if you don't have sales from last year, then I think you have to sell $15,000. But you can log into youravon.com, or it's now called avonnow.com, and you can go to the incentives and you can find out what your goal is, because Avon has given you a goal. If you don't know, then call me if I'm your upline. I won't have access to your stuff if I'm not, so I can only help you if I'm your upline, or call customer service. They can tell you what you need to earn this. We're only halfway through the year, so you still have a chance. But if you don't make it, it's because you either didn't make the effort to find out what the requirements were, or you didn't make the decision that you were going to do it, or you didn't. I mean, it's bottom line, it's that decision that's going to decide. It's you making the decision and you not letting anything get in your way. So, and like it says here, if you're seeing this in your life and in your Avon business, don't be too hard on yourself. It's only natural for your mind to think this way. After all, our mind is there to protect us. Our mind wants comfort, and and your mind is always looking out for the next danger, and it's trying to protect you. But also, if you keep allowing your mind to make excuses, then you're not gonna have the greatness. Like I said here, as we all know, with great risk comes greatness. We need to step out of our comfort zones to become the best person of ourselves possible. And so we can make better choices if we are aware of them. And that's why we're going to talk about these excuses, okay? So tell me if any of these sound familiar to you. Let's look at the 10 of the most common excuses. The don't care excuse. So you've convinced yourself that you don't want or need it, whatever it was anyway. So for instance, I'm not going to work for that travel incentive because I had plans that week anyway, or I'm not going to go to that travel. I'm not going to that travel incentive because it would have been too much work. Well, yeah, if that's what you decide, that it's too much work, then it is. Just like what's his name? Said the last Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. Either if you think you can, you can, and if you think you can't, you can't. So don't let yourself tell yourself that you don't care. I know somebody, I'm not going to name any names, but I know somebody who who actually dropped out of this last incentive because they had a timeshare that I know for a fact that they could have changed, but they said, oh, we can't change it. And they used that as an excuse to drop out. But what it really was they couldn't get the people that they couldn't get the points that they needed. So they let themselves find an excuse. Like I said, we're all guilty of this at one time or another, but if you want to be in Jamaica, you have to make that decision that you're not going to have an excuse, right? Okay, so the passive excuse. Life is happening to you. It's beyond your control. For instance, you got sucked into Facebook. You don't know what happened to the time. Or you're not getting any Alma leads because you live in a bad neighborhood, a bad area. You know what? I can use that for an excuse. I live in Utah. And the really sad thing is that a 500-mile radius of me is about a 1/100% of people of a 500-mile radius between somebody who lives on the East Coast. There's just, it's all farmland here. There's not people. And Avon only lets me have leads out to 500 miles. And so I buy 300 leads a campaign, and I'm lucky if I get 3. I mean, that's just how it works. If you live on the East Coast, and if you're at my level of leadership and you buy 500 leads a campaign, or 300 leads, I think is what I'm buying, 300 leads a campaign, I bet you get 3 to 5 a day. And I'm lucky if I get 3 a campaign. So I can use that as an excuse. Oh, I don't get enough leads. No, actually what I need to do is I need to find a way to overcome that. Okay, so I only get three leads a campaign from Alma. Then I need to find a way to get my own leads, because I'm not going to use that as an excuse, right? That's an example of a passive excuse. So how about the genetic excuse? That's just how you were raised. It's how your parents are. It's what you learn. For example, your father's an introvert. Your mother is critical. Hey, I could use that one too. I came from immigrants. Both of my parents are immigrants. I'm the first generation American. My dad was a janitor. My mom worked in a laundry. She pressed clothes. She ironed clothing in a laundry. They both came, my mother came from England, my dad came from Holland. They were both working class. College wasn't even a word in their vocabulary. And as I was growing up, my parents had big, big dreams for me. If I worked really hard, I could grow up and I could be anything I wanted. I can even be a secretary. To them, that was big dreams. You know why? Because it was an office. I could work in an office instead of slaving in a laundry, ironing in a hot laundry, or being a janitor. So, I mean, my parents had big dreams for me. Those big dreams, like for most people, I mean, you know, other people are like, college isn't even a question. Well, you know what? College wasn't even in my vocabulary when I was growing up. So we can use the genetic excuse. But hey, Vicki. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. I don't get that far in miles. Okay, Brenda, she said, talking about Alma leads, I don't get that far out in miles, and I might get 1 a campaign. Okay, right. So you're not going to use that as an excuse, though, that you can't go on a trip, right?
Promote up and you'll get more. You'll have a bigger radius.
Yeah, if you promote, you get a bigger radius. But even so, it depends, again, where you live. When I used to live in California, it was a lot more people in a more concentrated area, and I got a lot more Alma leads. But in Utah, there just isn't.
Yeah, the deer are cute, but they don't sign up anybody on that.
Yeah.
They don't buy Avon.
Deb says, proud that they had dreams and a good work ethic. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. My parents had awesome dreams, and they had an amazing work ethic. And, you know, a lot of you are the same. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, you can't say I can't be successful with Avon because I came from less. Right? Nope, doesn't work that way. You can be as successful as you choose to be. So let's move on, okay? The victim excuse. It's not your fault. You're busy taking care of your aging parents. You don't have time to build your business. Or you were late because you were hanging out with your friends and couldn't leave them. Or the one I hear a lot is, oh, I didn't realize it was today. Like, do you not have a calendar? A lot of people don't seem to use a calendar, and that's a victim excuse again, because if you want to make it happen, you put it on your calendar. Everything goes on my calendar, and I live by my calendar, and so I know where I'm supposed to be every minute. But you know, hey, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you have kids, and you know it's hard for you to grow a business because of your kids. I get it, but why not make your kids the reason for your success rather than the excuse why you can't do it? Because you could go work for 8 hours a day and be away from your kids for 8 hours a day and be successful in a job. Or you could work your Avon business while they're taking a nap, or while you're at the park with your kids, or the 15 minutes while you're waiting for the soccer game to start. You can put your Avon business in those pockets of time and work them around your kids and be successful at both and be an amazing parent and have a successful Avon business. So use your kids or your aging parents. I have to do a lot for my mom. I've been at the hospital. The last 3 weeks, I've been at the hospital every single day other than when we were in Los Cabos. And yet I found a way to work my business. So use it as the reason why you're successful rather than an excuse for your business. So Brenda says, Alma used to be more. We just got to keep working and finding and helping others help themselves.
Yep.
Yes. Awesome, Brenda. Awesome. Yeah. There's lots of ways to get leads. Rick and Tina on my team, seems like I talk about them every single time I do Facebook Live. But you know what? They set up a pop-up tent every single weekend. Every Saturday, they're out there like clockwork. Every Saturday, they're out there and they set up a tent on a corner of a vacant lot. It's a store. It's a 7-Eleven that went out of business, but it's a very busy corner and there's nobody in that store. So they set up a tent and they have free Avon and they talk to people coming by and they get recruits and they get the sales. And, same thing. Richard and I, when we first started, we used to set up in front of Kmart. Actually, believe it or not, Kmart in Ventura, California used to let us set up in front of their store. For years, we did that.
Yep.
And then they got a new district manager who wouldn't let us do it anymore. But there's always a way. You just got to find a way. I used to stand in front of grocery stores. I still do. When I'm looking for more recruits, I'll stand in front of a grocery store, pass out brochures, and I have my little drawing slips, and I say, we mail our brochures. Would you like to get on our mailing list? And I get their information. And while they're filling out my drawing slips, I talk to them about, have you ever thought about selling Avon? So don't be a victim. You choose what you're going to do for your business. You choose how you're going to, whatever it is. I talked about this just the other day on a Facebook Live. In 2006, Avon had a cruise incentive, and I had 2 girls on my team that wanted to get on this cruise, and I completely put 100% of my focus on those 2 girls, but we went out every day. We went to a different store parking lot every day, and we got kicked out of some of them. But that's why we were in a different place every day. And plus, you want to meet different people. So we'd be in Kmart parking lot one day, and we'd be in a grocery parking lot the next. But we went out every single day because we were going to get those 2 people on the cruise no matter what. And we went out every day with them. I held their hands. Richard was still working them, but I held their hands, and we were out talking to people, and we were out signing people up. And, then they ended up getting on the cruise. They both ended up getting on the cruise. How cool was that? But you know what was even cooler? I ended up on the cruise as #1 in the entire nation. I had no idea. Because I was so busy. I knew I would get it. I knew I would be on the cruise. But I was so busy concentrating on them that I had no idea that I was that high up in the incentive, and how that felt so good. That just felt amazing. But so there is always a way. If there's a will, there's a way, right? You've heard that before. If there's a will, there's a way. Well, it's true. Okay. Okay. How about number 5? Everyone else excuse. It's okay if I don't receive that trip. Nobody from my state is going to make it either. It's just too hard. It's too hard. And if it was easier, other people would be earning it. Well, in Utah, in Los Cabos, there was 5 people from Utah, and they were me and Richard and 3 of my team members, Rick and Tina and Irene. And none of us used that as an excuse. Nobody else from Utah was there. And, I met some people from North Dakota in Los Cabos and South Dakota, and 2 women, and one was from North Dakota, one was from South Dakota, and they both told me they were the only 2 from their state. So don't let that be an excuse. Lisa Wilbur once said, and she probably says this a lot, but back when she first started Avon, she was actually kind of selling Avon, and she was working as a secretary, and she was making $25,000 a year as a secretary. This was many years ago. And she got laid off from her secretary job. And her husband said to her, well, why don't you do something serious with this Avon business? And Lisa said, I didn't know anybody that even sold $25,000 a year, let alone earned it. I didn't think there was any way that I could make that kind of money. But she knew that it was an option. She knew that there was other people in the United States who were making that kind of money, and if they could make it, she knew she could. And now she's like making like $400,000 a year or something. I don't know exactly what she makes, but trust me, it doesn't matter if somebody else is doing it or not. If it's possible, then it's possible for you. Okay. How about the past precedent excuse. You've never been able to increase your sales before. You've tried so hard and nothing's worked. Why would it be any different now? Or last time you tried to earn the trip, you didn't qualify, so you probably won't this time either. Hold on, I got some things. Let me look. Okay, so Deb says, I miss that they no longer have the rankings like they did in the past posted. It was a real motivator where I could see where I was. Yeah. Actually, Deb, I think there is some rankings under recognition in avonnow.com. There's a tab called recognition. And also, if you're in leadership, you can go into reports, and there's some of those there too, like the top 100, and a lot of those are there, but not the ones that you're talking about. I know that. I miss that too, because it's kind of nice to see that. And in the regions like the Northwest region and the Southwest region, they usually you'll see rankings in there, but it's kind of if you happen to see it on Facebook. So they are there, but I know what you're saying, because it was nice to be able to see that. Yeah,
Renee posts some of those. So
Renee Hobley posts some of that. Actually, it's not Renee. It's somebody from the corporate office that posts it in the groups. Yeah. So they are in the Facebook groups. If you're not in your region's Facebook group, be sure to join it. There's a Southwest, a Northwest, a Northeast, and a Southeast. So look for those on Facebook and be sure to join them. Okay, so you've never been able to increase your sales before. Last time you earned the trip, you didn't make it. Well, you know what? Okay. You didn't make it last time, but you know what? You learned what didn't work. You learned what didn't work. You didn't learn. Now, if you can sit back now and go, why didn't I make it last time? What did I not do? What excuse did I allow myself to have? Now you can change that around, and you can definitely make it this time. Because every time we try something, we learn. If we don't succeed, we learn, right? So it's not 100% loss. We learned something. So take what you learned and put it into effect and make it happen this time. Okay, so how things are excuse. What you want to accomplish is just not possible for you. Maybe you think you had a screwed up childhood. You were picked on as a kid. You were never able to amount to anything because of your past. That's a lot of that is I'm not making light of that. I mean, some of us have had some rough childhoods, and I did too. But that doesn't mean that because of how your childhood was, that's how it needs to be now, right? In fact, if you twist this the right way, if you put it into perspective, you can take your horrible childhood and you can turn it into something really special in your Avon business. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She came from dirt poor. She was molested by 4 or 5 different men in her childhood. She had a horrible, horrible childhood, and look at where she's at now, because she told herself, I'm never going to let anybody hurt me again. I'm going to be in charge of my own life. And it's the same thing for you. You can take that. I'm never going to let whatever was messed up in your childhood. And I think most of us have pretty messed up childhoods. I don't know. Well, Richard had a really nice childhood, but there's not too many people that had wonderful childhoods. But you can take whatever it is and you can turn that around into, I'm not going to let that happen to me now. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of me, and it's not going to happen anymore. Okay. How about the done enough? Okay. You've had a rough life. You've already accomplished so much. Nobody should ask you for more than you've already done, as if pushing you farther might break you, or maybe you've earned the badge for the person that's been through the most in their life. What else could anyone possibly want from you? You know what? How about what do you want from you? Don't worry about what everybody else does, and don't worry. And a lot of this goes back to the same thing of how things are, right? You've had a rough life. Oh my gosh, there are people I know that have had horrible lives. There's people that have lost children. There's people that have there's all kinds of things that can go wrong, that can happen. And all of us at some point or another have to deal with it. Some people deal more than others. But again, it's you taking charge. It's you saying, this is what I want out of my life. So you can do this. And then people might laugh at me. So you're not sure exactly what you're doing, and you can't try because someone might see you doing it and laugh at you. See you doing it wrong and laugh at you. We all worry about that. That's probably the hardest reason why people are afraid to offer a brochure to somebody they don't know. They're afraid that they're going to look at them funny, or they're going to laugh, or whatever. And that's something that the more you do, the more you get over it. The more that you show people, then the more that you don't worry about if they're going to laugh at you. I used to have way back in the day when I first started with Avon, we didn't even have Facebook. We had bulletin boards. And back then it was just like chat rooms kind of. I don't know. Those of you that have been around forever might remember that. And there was a guy, and I wish I could remember his name. He was an older guy. Well, he's my age now, but he lived in Oregon, I think.
Yeah, it was in Oregon.
And some of the girls were saying that same thing on the chat. Oh, well, they might laugh at me. And he was a senior executive unit leader, I believe, and he was making really good money. And they said, what if they laugh at me? And he said, you know what? I laugh all the way to the bank when I'm making my payment on my motorhome. And my banker who financed my motorhome, he laughs every time I give him my money that comes from my Avon. So you know what? Just turn that into, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. And don't worry about doing it wrong. Most of the time, you're talking to people who don't know you and never going to see you again anyway. Let me see.
Brenda's got a question.
I got Brenda. So some use excuse that they live in a small town. I live in less than 300. I drive 35 to 60 minutes to the bigger towns. I have earned Bahamas and Cancun. We could do it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jamaica. Go, Brenda.
Yeah, Brenda.
Yes. You can't, you know what? A small town is not as an excuse. Another example of a small town is Fillmore, California. I don't know what the population is there.
About 15,000.
15,000? Okay. Back when I lived in California, back when I was this close to senior executive unit leader, I had over 600 people on my team. You know, 8 of my top 10 lived in Fillmore, California. Little tiny town. Okay, 15,000. It's not 300. Okay, but it's not a big town either. And 8 of my top 10 on my team lived in Fillmore. You would think they'd be falling all over each other or constantly in each other's way or
too much competition.
Stealing, too much competition. But you know what? It never mattered because everybody has their own sphere of influence. Everybody, the 15,000 divided by 8 people is still a lot of people you can talk to. So 300 is small. You're right. It's small. But I bet you're probably everybody knows you in your town if you only have 300. And yes, you have to drive to bigger towns. And what about online? You could grow your business on Facebook. You can sell anywhere in the United States. You can recruit anywhere in the United States. So yeah, Brenda, awesome. 300 people. Now, if anybody has that excuse, look at Brenda. She's been to the Bahamas and she's been to Cancun and she's going to Jamaica, right? Go, Brenda.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And then the I have no money excuse. You think it takes money to make money. You never had any money and so you can't be successful. Well, yes. One thing that I've taught for years and years in my business, that your business is going to take something to grow. It's either going to take money or it's going to take effort. Mostly it's going to take both. A little bit of both. But if you don't have the time, when I first started, we were working, you've all heard my story, we were working 60, 70 hours a week and I was commuting an hour and a half each way to work. I didn't have the time. So I was able to put more money into my business. So I did more things like bulk mail and advertising and stuff like that because I didn't have enough money. But if you don't have money, you could put more effort. So you can get out and talk to more people. And bottom line is, if you don't have the money, you just need to be talking to more people. And, you know, when I'm talking to people and they tell me they don't have the $30 to get signed up, what I'm doing now is I'm offering them a fundraiser. How about we set up a fundraiser, and if you sell $150 on this fundraiser, you share your own, you're going to get your private link, you share it with all your friends and family, you sell $150 and I will pay your startup kit. Basically, I'm giving them 20% earnings on the fundraiser to pay for their starter kit. Okay. So money can be an excuse if you let it, but it doesn't have to be. There's so many other ways to do it. And, you know, you collect the money up front, you go out there, you get orders. If you think you're not making enough money, then you need to get more orders. You need to talk to more people and you collect money up front. And it doesn't matter if you are selling $100 or $1,000 a campaign or $5,000 a campaign. The whole difference is how many people you're talking to, not how much money you have, not how good you are. It's how many people are you talking to? How many orders are you getting? Excuse me. So Vicky says, I've been to the Bahamas and Cabo in 2.5 years. In 2.5 years. Way to go,
Awesome.
Vicky. That is amazing. See, no excuses there, right? You just made it happen. And Brenda made it happen. And so, you know, that's the thing, is you can go to Jamaica and you can have a fun time on the beach. and you can get wine and dine and you can have a free vacation, and all of that is amazing. But do you know what's more amazing than that? What's more amazing than that is partying with Timothy Brown and partying with the Fab Five, with JP and Teresa Paul and Lisa Wilbur and Lisa Scola and Molly Bibb and Lee, right? And partying with gosh, there's so many reps. There's so many amazing reps that you need to be there. You need to get to know, and you bounce ideas off of each other and you learn from each other, and that's how you grow your business even more. That's more valuable than the trip. And that's why when we went to Los Cabos this time, we didn't do any excursions. We spent our entire time by the pool with everybody else, talking to them and getting to know them. So that's, you got to do it for that reason. So everybody has their own favorite brand of excuse. Excuses are great. They keep us from having to do something we don't want to do, and they allow us to explain why we can't, whatever it is that we need to do. But the darker side of that is they keep us from being successful. So that's your decision. Again, you have to decide, are you going to make an excuse, or are you going to be there? Are you going to make an excuse why you can't go to Rep Fest, or are you going to be there? Because the same thing as Rep Fest. You need to find a way, whatever it is. And I have had people on my team share 6 or 8 people in a room, sleeping on the floor, sleeping in the bathtub, because they're not going to be in the room that much, but they need to be there. So I've seen them pack peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I've seen them sleep on the floor in somebody's room. Whatever it takes, right? Because you need to be at Rep Fest. Rep Fest is where it happens. Again, you're going to see all of the new products for the holidays. You're going to see whatever new incentives they're kicking off. But the most important thing is you're going to meet other successful reps, because successful reps are at Rep Fest. They won't even miss it. It's not even a question in their mind. Rep Fest, okay, it's on my calendar. Not even a question about, can I go? Can I afford it? It's just boom, clear your calendar, you're going. That's how successful people think. And if you want to be successful, that's how you want to think.
Rosalind.
So Rosalind says, I'm going to Jamaica. Woohoo! Missed Cabos. People were messaging me from Cabos, and that motivated me. I bet you were feeling really left out, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. That kind of sucks, to have to feel that way, to feel like you were left out. So I hope that will motivate you to get to Jamaica. And then she says, I love Rep Fest. People sleep in their cars. People who know how important it is. If that's what it takes, they'll sleep in their car. Yes, absolutely. I seriously have seen people sleeping in the bathtub and sleeping, 6 in a room or 8 in a room or whatever. So don't let excuses get in your way. Okay. So I've overcome excuses. Richard's overcome excuses. Don't allow yourself to make the excuses that are going to interfere with your success, because following your dreams takes that willingness to challenge your mind. And Rep Fest rocks. Woo!
Yeah, Vicky.
Yeah. So we went through 10. Okay. There's probably a lot more, but those are the 10 of the most common. So either you will find a way or you'll find an excuse, right? So work to start paying attention on what excuses that you're allowing yourself to hold yourself back. And then take the next step. Even if you don't always know where you're going, take the next step, despite whatever's getting in your way. So let's see. Rosalind says, make me feel like I was worthy to be there. Yeah, awesome. And Vicky says, Rep Fest rocks. Okay, did I miss anybody else?
You got them all.
I think I got them all.
Yeah.
So that's my rant for today. 3rd time's a charm. We've seriously been trying to do this excuses for 3 times. But my mom is stable. Hopefully she's going to stay stable for a while. And we made it to Los Cabos, and no more excuses for anything, right? And sometimes it's not an excuse, like my mom. Okay, I can use it as an excuse. I could have stayed home from Los Cabos, but she was in good hands. I mean, she was on the other side. She was coming back to help, and she was in good hands, and I knew that she was being taken care of, so I knew I could go. If it had been a week earlier and my mom was in ICU, then I probably wouldn't have. But that's a decision that I would have made, right? One way or the other. It's a decision I would have made. And sometimes you might need to make a decision because of your children, or because of your parents, or because of your husband, or whatever. You might have to make a decision that kind of sucks. I have to choose between this or this. But let it be an actual decision and not an excuse, okay? make it be you're the one that's in charge. You're the one that decides whether you're going to do this or not do this, and not because you're helpless or not because you have an excuse or, you know, you just don't want to take responsibility for it. So I think, so happy I met you. Me too, Vicki.
Yeah, Vicki.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad we met. I'm glad we met. And I'm going to look for you at Rep Fest.
Yep.
So you guys, let me put this back. I don't know. I still don't see a picture of us up here, but hopefully we're up there. So you guys, thank you for being with us today. And this will be live. I mean, this will be on the Facebook page because it's a Facebook Live, so it'll be there for anybody to want to watch the replay or if you want to watch this over again. And if you're watching the replay, please come down and make sure you comment replay or comment so that we know you were here, okay? So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Hope you have an amazing week. And we will see you next week, next Sunday, same time, same place. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Have a good week.